Now we're going to set up the connections for playback to test our MP3. So the first thing I'm going to do, you'll notice there's a section here called Programming, another section on here called Play. And we're going to remove these cables from the Programming section. Also, on the side of the netbook here, we're going to remove the splitter and the transmitter cable that was plugged into the microphone. So we're also going to take out the cable from the programming transmitter, and we're finished with the transmitter, so we'll set that aside. Okay, to play back from the computer, we need a stereo cable. And the stereo cable is going to plug into the headphone jack here. And the other end of the stereo cable is going to go into the play in on the Magic control box. There. Okay. Now, I could play this file, but we wouldn't hear it because nothing is connected to our PA system. So I'm going to use the PA system cable and plug it into play out. Okay? Before we go into playback, pan the data to the left, and the audio to the right. So let's start up here at the audio. We're going to pan that to the right, and the data we're going to pan to the left. Okay, let's see what happens. I'm going to hit my space bar to start this track.
I know, but I'm so hungry. I've got to eat something now.
Okay, now that's very good, and you'll notice the mouth was reacting just a little bit later than the audio. So let's watch it again and watch his mouth and listen to the words, and I'll show you how we can correct that.
I know, but I'm so hungry. I've got to eat something now.
What that's from is just the latency between my ears hearing the audio and my thumb moving the joystick. So it's actually something that most people would accept, but we want to do something here. I'll show you how to adjust for that. So let me get my file in view here. And there's a little control up here that's a slider. It's right here. It's an arrow going left and right. So I'm going to click on that so my tool or my cursor becomes the slider. My data was late, so we're going to drag the data a little bit. We're just guessing here, but a little bit to the left. We can go back and forth on this until it's right, but let's pull it that far. I have no idea if it's correct or not, but we're going to watch him now. Let's watch his mouth again and see if it's correct. Let me turn him to the side so it's a little easier to see on video.
I know, but I'm so hungry. I've got to eat something now.
See, now that's almost exact. So we want to keep it right there. So that slide was good. And okay, now we're going to need to trim the audio and the data together to make one length. I noticed that when I sat when I sat the transmitter down, until I could get to my stop button, there was some, he was just sitting still, and I don't want that on there. So I'm going to have to trim this off. But right now, remember our tool was set up in the slider tool. I need to go back to the trim tool, which is a vertical, it looks like an I bar. So we're going to go up here, get our trim tool back, come down here, and I'm going to trim off some of the audio. That's just a guess for the sake of the demo. And now we'll go to the beginning of the file again. I'm going to hit the beginning button, which is two triangles with a line in the left side. And you can see that the data doesn't start until here. So I want to trim just a hair of that data off as it's starting to record. You'll notice the data is just a little small. Trim that off, and then if you drag up, you can catch both tracks. They're both selected. I'm now going to hit delete, and it'll trim those exactly the same. Now, you'll notice the audio is shorter than the data. That's okay, because the file will end up as long as the data. You just won't hear anything here. Next, we're going to watch it one more time.
I know, but I'm so hungry. I've got to eat something now.
Obviously, you can tweak this as much as you want and go back and forth and be as crazy about it as you want to make it perfect. For the sake of the demo, I'm going to accept that as a good file. I'm going to go to export it now as an MP3 to create our magic tracks.